This is Mortgage Lending Mastery. Get the knowledge you need from America's mortgage mentor with more than 35 years of experience and over $1 billion in lifetime fundings. You'll learn to advance your mortgage practice quickly and efficiently. Also, be sure to check out Jen's book, Launch: How to Take Your Business to New Heights. Available on Amazon. For a signed copy, contact Jen at jenduplessis.com. Now, here is certified mortgage planner and CEO of Kinetic Spark Consulting, Jen Du Plessis.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Mortgage Lending Mastery. Okay, today is a Jen's Jots, and I thought that the timing would be perfect for me to explain what has been going on with this crazy podcast because, I'm about to celebrate my 5th year doing Mortgage Lending Mastery, and earlier in 2019, this year, I decided to change the name to Stop Talking, Take Action, Get Results, and I did this for a multitude of reasons, which I won't bore everybody with, but ended up turning it back into Mortgage Lending Mastery, which I'm happy to be doing and excited to be able to relaunch. And you'll notice that I also have a new album cover with the subtitle of Stop Talking, Take Action, Get Results. And I'm pleased to announce, thanks to all of you, that I'm in the top 1% of iTunes worldwide now. And just real excited about that. I don't know what it really means other than to be able to say it. And it's kind of cool because it's been, a lot of work for 5 years trying to come up with new ideas and new topics. And thankfully, the mortgage and real estate space constantly changes. And so that gives us new topics to talk about. But I want to take this opportunity as I'm coming up on this celebration. And I'm recording this, ironically, on Saturday, the 23rd of November, with my birthday being tomorrow. This is a perfect time to just say thank you. It's right around Thanksgiving, coming up on the 5-year with the rebranding back to the name and my birthday, that I just wanted to say thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for paying it forward, for all of your ratings and your reviews. And I just encourage you to keep those coming. And so nothing else is going to happen with Mortgage Lending Mastery. We're going to continue to move forward. We'll continue to have mortgage-specific content as well as professional growth. That's always been something that I focused on, is that personal and professional growth as it relates to being in the mortgage, real estate, or entrepreneurial space. But I also wanted to take this opportunity to announce that I will be launching a new podcast in the beginning of the year. Now, when that happens, probably around February, I would say. And I would love for you to join me on that podcast as well. That podcast is going to be called From Success to Significance. And it is a pre-launch. It's actually a launch of the podcast, but it is a pre-launch to a book that I'm working on called From Success to Significance: Life After Breaking Through Glass Ceilings. And this book is so much different than the launch book that I released a couple of years ago, for a lot of reasons, and probably some things I haven't shared with all of you that I'm wanting to take this opportunity to do. I signed the contract with my publisher on October 1st in 2016, and I found myself on stage in Atlantic City at Caesar's Palace speaking for a great mortgage company, Annie Mac Mortgage. I was speaking at their annual sales rally, and while I was on stage, my mother had a stroke, and she subsequently passed away a couple days later. So as you can imagine, and again, that was on October 22nd. So that, 22 days after I signed to do the book, as you can imagine, I was pretty distraught, and I had a timeline or a deadline, and it needed to be finished by the end of April. So I really had to push through in that book. And thank God it was a tactical book. It was more about the how to do things, giving you great ideas and tips, and then some action items. And again, I'm very thankful that that was the type of book, because I wonder sometimes when I look at it, would it have been written differently had I been in a different, mindset? But I don't think so for that book, which brings me to this book. When I retired or transitioned I retired from lending and transitioned, into speaking and coaching and podcasting full time and growing my new business. I was still out networking, like I talk about all the time, that it's important to do. And someone said to me, "What do you do?" And I said, "Oh, well, I was wanting to say mortgage lender." And I said, "Gosh, I really don't know who I am now, because that was my identity, right? And that was where my success was for 35 plus years. And it just made me start thinking. And I've really grown over the last couple of years as a result of it, just trying to figure out what is it that I was doing. And all of a sudden, the book started coming up as an idea for me, is that I really am and still have been moving from the identity of being a very successful, high producing mortgage originator, making lots of money, to really wanting to be significant for people in the mortgage and real estate space and entrepreneurs as well. But making that shift was definitely life-changing for me. It was something I was ready for. It's something I planned. And now, my primary goal is to coach people who are doing very well and are just missing a piece to go to the next level. Also coaching people, that are brand new and trying to do things properly the first time. But my goal is, if I can compress the timeline it takes you to be as successful as I was able to accomplish after 35 years, then that's going to bring me all the joy in the world. And that's where I'm trying to make the most impact and make some significance in my life, right? The other part is that I'm the first generation of women who had these very powerful, high-paying jobs. We really paved the way and pioneered, especially in the mortgage business. There's a handful of us who've done that. And I don't mean to not mention any specific names, because I don't know everybody in the mortgage business, but there are, a handful of women who are my dear friends who we have really pioneered and paved the way for other women in the mortgage space for a really long time. And most of us now are out of the business and doing coaching as well. We're all doing something a little different, but we're trying to give back and help people accelerate their success and learn from our mistakes, from our wins and our thought patterns and things. But as being one of the first for this particular generation that had these wonderful jobs that we sacrificed a lot. There were a lot of women that sacrificed marriages and relationships with children and their health. I'm blessed that I'm still married. I still have my health. But, my mom, she stayed at home. And when I grew up and became a teenager, that's when she went out into the workforce, and she was typically a secretary, right? Or an administrative assistant or executive assistant, with the whole goal that she was only going to do that long enough that when I had kids, she could come home and take care of the grandkids. And that was pretty much what women did then. My generation, we are tired because we worked for so long and so hard, to try to win battles and exceeding and breaking through ceilings that aren't just women oriented, but, just different ceilings that we had to break through in life. And when I retired, the last thing I wanted to do is stay home and take care of my grandkids. It's just not built in this particular generation. I absolutely love my grandkids. I love taking care of them when I can, but it wasn't my passion. So now what do you do? After 35 years of doing anything, man or woman, and you're not ready to call it quits or retire, what is the next step? And for me, it wasn't going to be working for someone. It wasn't going to be a greeter at Walmart, so to speak. For me, it was, okay, what other challenge? So I'm finding that a lot of people are stepping into more entrepreneurship, sitting on boards, doing charity work, etc. And so that's where this particular book is going to be coming from, is life after breaking through whatever ceiling it was for you, whether it was a financial ceiling or a gender ceiling of some sort, if it was a family situation or health. All of those reasons are reasons that I want to talk to people about. What are they doing after that long, long career? Sometimes it's retirement, sometimes it's relaxing, and sometimes maybe there's a handful, and I'm sure there are people who want to stay home with their grandkids, and I think that's great. But maybe it's another career, a full other career, something totally different. So that is what this podcast is going to be about, and the book will be about as well. And I just encourage you to listen in on it and, support me. I really would love the support in launching this. But more importantly for you, if you're in the midst of your career, you're in 10, it could be 5 years too, but if you're in 10 or 15, 20, 25 years in your practice, it's a great opportunity to start thinking about, what is my exit strategy? And we know that both real estate and mortgage professionals, it's an aging workforce right now. And so what's next? What is next for you? Are you thinking about it? And again, I'm just real blessed that I had the fortitude to think about it and say, that I wasn't going to be in lending more than 35 years. That was a big goal for me. Actually, the goal was originally, I don't want to be in for 40. I would never tell anyone I was in for 40. So that was a big goal for me. It was also a goal for me to get out when I was 55, so that I'd have plenty of time to enjoy life and still be moving, right? And be able to do cultural things and travel, etc. So I wanted to share that with you. I wanted to take the opportunity on this particular podcast, just a quick short one, to again say thank you as I'm reflecting back over the last 5 years, being one of the first podcasts in our space and continuing to move forward. And I'm so excited to share as much as I possibly can with you for years and years to come, and encourage you to be on the lookout. And I'll probably mention it in one of my podcasts coming up, but be on the lookout for From Success to Significance as a new launch of another podcast where I can have the opportunity to interview people that have made that transition and what it was like preparing for it, making the transition, and what it looks like on the other side, so that it gives you the opportunity to think about what your path might be in the years to come. So again, thank you so much for all your support and all your feedback. And I will chat with you on the next episode of Mortgage Lending Mastery.
Thank you for listening to Mortgage Lending Mastery. Looking to streamline and launch your practice by accessing Jen's tools, courses, classes, presentations, and resources? Visit JenDuPlessis.com to learn about the features and benefits thousands of other professionals have experienced by enrolling in Jen's lifetime membership program. Isn't it about time you consider a coach to take your business to new heights? Contact Jen to start your application process today. Thanks again, and be sure to tune in next week.